Hello, welcome back. So now we move on to eViews. So let's click folder 2 and then the PowerPoint slides actually converted to PDF. Okay, eViews, and then you see a few eViews data files. I actually generated the eViews files for you. Then you can check your files which you are going to generate in the next hour or so, compare with my eViews work file. And then there are 3 Excel files. So let's start with practice 1. Time series data from 2000 to 2019. And then you have GDP1. By the way, if I end a variable with 1, then it actually implies in real constant prices. So GDP1 is real GDP, cons 1 means real consumption. YPDI without the 1, it means nominal personal disposable income. So expect a question later that I will give you CPI, and then you use CPI to derive real personal disposable income. So let's look at the slides. I'm going to explain the 4 ways to create a work file or create new variables. First one is the importing method. Okay. The second method is most popular, copy and paste. Third method, manual typing, which is quite annoying. We will do it once. Fourth one, create a new variable by typing an equation, which is what I told you just now. Typing an equation to derive real personal disposable income. Okay. So we want to import the data from Excel. So let's use the practice 1 file. So you need to remember it is time series data, annual data. There are 3 variables involved, GDP1, cons1, YPDI, and the first data cell appears in B2. So keep that in mind. And then for the importing to work, you must close Excel completely. So keep that in mind. Close Excel completely. Okay. So now we double click eViews 3. Why is it taking so long? Okay, let me enlarge that. File. Obviously, currently you have nothing in the work file because I haven't even started the importing process. So File, New, Work File. Okay, you have different options. This is time series data, annual data. When you do your honest econometrics, you would have a chance to work with quarterly data. Okay, actually, strictly speaking, Reserve Bank, the South African Reserve Bank, released the time series macro data on a quarterly basis. Okay, and even for some series like CPI, actually monthly data is released. But let's go back to the original question, annual data from, I actually forgot the year, actually. Let's go back. Okay, from 2000 to 2019. From 2010 to 2019. So start date 2010, end date 2019. Okay, there's still nothing. So file, import, we start working with the first method, the importing method. File, import, read text, Lotus, Excel. Obviously, we would import an Excel file. Then you need to look for the whereabouts of the Excel file. Desktop, because I have my bootcamp folder on the desktop. By the way, the file types, you must have some restriction, only Excel, because I'm importing an Excel file. Yes, bootcamp folder, folder 2, eViews, practice 1. Okay. Let me pause for 10 seconds until you are all ready to proceed. Okay. eViews had a smart suggestion. The first data cell, does it appear in B2? Yes, so leave it unchanged. Sheet name is sheet 1. Remember, for an Excel file, you could have more than one sheet, so you must specify the name of the sheet. How many variables? 3. Okay, indeed from 2010 to 2019. Okay, then you see cons 1, you can double click real consumption, real GDP, and then nominal income. Okay, so this is the importing method. Okay, and then we don't need to save the file, so we can close it. The reason is I want to use the second method, which is relatively more popular, which is the copy and paste method. So now you can open the Excel again. Because for the copy and paste method, you can afford to leave Excel open. So go back to practice 1. Okay, so now you can copy the data. And when you copy the data, you must include the variable names, but exclude column A. So from B1 to D11, copy. Okay, now let's go back to EViews. Same old story at the start. File, new, work file. Annual from 2019 to, from 2010 to 2019. Okay, now you might wonder where can I paste the data. So go to quick, empty group, edit series. Okay, then what you need to do is to scroll upwards and leftwards until you see the observation OBS 4 times. First one, second one, third one, the fourth one is not in bold. Then what you need to do is to click on the cell to the right of the unbolded OBS. Then right click, paste. I repeat, click on the cell to the right of the OBS that is not in bold. Paste. Okay, that's it. Do you see the 3 variables, cons1, GDP1, YPDI1? Close it. It is okay, you can delete the group, you didn't lose your data. Okay, see, you still have the same 3 variables. Okay, and then the next one. So this is the copy and paste method, actually. Okay. The next one, painful typing, the third method now, manual typing. I want to create a new variable called CPI. We have to manually type the 10 CPIs. So what you need to do is go to Objects, and then New Object. Objects, New Object. Okay, this is the data in series, and you give a name called CPI. By the way, for the EViews, it is even after you type capital letters, EViews will automatically convert the variable names into small letters. But when you learn starter after the June-July exam, you will realize that starter is case sensitive. And then you double click CPI. There's nothing. You only see NA. The reason is I haven't even started the manual typing. Then of course you wouldn't have any values. Okay, but you need to unlock this sheet. So you must click Edit and then click to the first NA. Let me go back to the slide. So 49, 55, 61. 49. I forgot the second one off quickly. 55, 61, 67, 72. Then let me pause for 10 seconds. Okay, 49, 55, 61, 67, 72. The next 3, 78, 84, 90, 78, 84, 90. And I now remember the last 2, 95 and 100. And afterwards, I recommend you to click Edit again to lock the sheet, just to play it safe. Okay, so this is the third method, the painful method, manual typing. Okay, it's possible, it could happen in case you created a work file and you realize there is a variable you missed. Then later you obtain the information on an additional variable, which is CPI in this case, then it is not anything surprising to do some manual typing. Okay. And then I can close that. And then the fourth method is by means of typing an equation. Okay, so we are going to create 2 variables. real personal disposable income YPDI1 equals the nominal income YPDI divided by CPI we just created times 100. Okay, and then you need to click generate because I'm generating a new variable by typing an equation. So generate, you can see the words on top of the cell, the window, I mean, generate series by equation, and then enter equation. So YPDI1 equals YPDI divided by CPI times 100. YPDI1 equals YPDI divided by CPI times 100. Okay, and then let's double click. I hope we get exactly the same answers. And remember, for the base year 2019, in this case, your nominal value and real value would be exactly the same. That's why you would have 450,000 in both nominal and real terms. Okay, next one. Inflation is this percentage change of CPI between 2 consecutive years. So it is equal to CPI divided by CPI. This is the special EViews programming language. Bracket -1 means the value of this variable, which is CPI in the previous year or previous period. So let's do this one. Again, you create a new variable by typing an equation. So inflation equals CPI divided by CPI -1. And then I forgot actually, is it close bracket? Okay. -1 times 100. So there are two pairs of brackets involved. Okay, and then let's double click. You wouldn't have an answer here because we don't have the 2009 CPI, so it is impossible to calculate the inflation rate in 2010. And then in this hypothetical example, you would notice that there's a downward trend in the inflation rate. Okay. Then go back to the questions. We can do some simple descriptive stats. Okay. Histogram on inflation. It gives you some very basic descriptive stats like mean, median, maximum, mean, and so forth. So let's double click inflation. View. Currently it is viewed as spreadsheet. Descriptive stats, histogram, and stats. Okay. Happy with that? Okay, and you can view it as line chart and bar chart. By the way, the graphs or the charts look more straightforward, not as precise and beautiful as the starter charts, which you are going to do after the July exam. So now view inflation as spreadsheet, which we did before. Now view it as line chart and view it as bar chart. Okay, and you can actually copy and paste on your, let's say, your research essay. So can I open a blank Word file? Okay, go back to that. So click, and then is it option? Wait, how can I copy this? Is it edit copy? Sorry. So you click here. Oopsie. Click edit copy. Copy to clipboard. Then back to Word. Then you can paste it. Okay. So this is how it looks on Word. Okay. And then you can view it as line chart as well. I think the bar chart looks much better actually. Okay. What if you want to see the descriptive stats on two variables? It is possible. So cons1 and GDP1. So let's close that. Cons1, and then you press Control, hold it. And then GDP1, release, right click, open as group. And then view descriptive stats, common sample. Okay, so that's the result.